Hey, this is Skylar. In case you are new to my channel, I am completely blind, I am autistic, and I have a chronic heart condition. Today we're going to be talking about the autism thing. I have Asperger syndrome, which is a type of autism, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was 11. I'll tell you kind of the lowdown on that, how I got to be diagnosed. When I was 7, 8, and 9, I noticed that I was not like other 7, 8, and 9-year-olds. Not just because I was blind, but because I would do weird stuff. Like I would get hooked on words or topics. For example, when I was 8, I was hooked on, when I was actually 7, 8, 9, I was hooked on the word wine. That's both spellings. The wine that you drink and the wine that means like what dogs do. I was hooked on both homonyms. And like I would repeat them, or I would want to say them for pictures, or I would talk about them a lot. My favorite song back then, I grew up in the 90s, was Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter. Now, I don't know when that was released, but I remember, having Dina Carter's tape. I used to sleep to it. That song would be on there. I remember buying Dina Carter's CD when I was at school, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. And yes, that song was on the CD too. Anyways. So, I noticed that, like, my mom would tell me it was unacceptable to talk about strawberries and wine, and because of that song, because of the strawberry wine song, I was hooked on strawberries, and for a while I was banned on saying strawberry, because I associated the word strawberry with the song Strawberry Wine, which back then was one of my favorite songs because it mentioned wine, which was one of my favorite words back then. It's not now, but back then it was. Anyways. And none of the other 7, 8, 9-year-olds that I came in contact with, blind or not, none of them did that. None of them. Then, when I was 9, I went to the school for the blind, and it was very, very hard because I wasn't with my mom. You see, the school for the blind was an hour away from, actually 2 hours away from where my mom lived, so I had to be bused back and forth to school on the bus. But I noticed even at the school for the blind, which is a school for special needs people, I noticed that even the other blind people in my age group didn't do the things that I did. And my teachers made it very obvious. They rubbed it in my face that I wasn't normal. They told me I didn't talk normal. They told me I wasn't acting normal. Blah, blah, blah. My mom once got onto me because I was stuck on Titanic, the movie, and I wouldn't quit talking about it and stuff like that. And I don't know why I was ever obsessed with that, because now I can't stand the song, but anyways, it's another video. So when I was 11, I was hooked on Z words like Zimbabwe, zombie, zebra, Zulu, zucchini, you name it, words that started with Z. And when I was 11, I was at school for the blind, and I asked my school teacher if I could say a word that started with Z for my school pictures. She said no. I made a video about this, by the way, too. She said no on the Z words for the pictures, so this is what I did. When the photographer said smile, that's what I did. Anyways, so I was pretty much banned from saying any types of Z words ever. at school when I was 11. Finally, angel in disguise. Her name was Valerie Perwine. She is a children's psychologist at the School for the Blind. She diagnosed me with Asperger syndrome, and I had no idea what that was. None. Because I had never heard that word before. Ever. So, she sent me home with this book that my Aunt Missy and my mom read to me. That book should have been named Skylar because it had every characteristic, every Asperger's character trait that it had in that book. I had it. Every single one. I kid you not. And so, yeah. I noticed that, like I said, a lot of the characteristics that I had been displaying all my life were listed in this book. So finally we had a diagnosis and we were able to, live life from there. Then when I was 16, I was put on what's called a punch system where they would punch with a hole puncher. They would punch out a hole in a card, like a paper card. And if I got 3 punches, I would lose a privilege. And it wasn't for anything big. It was for certain words that I would say. Like, for example, when I was 16, I was hooked on very politically incorrect favorite words like whiskey, Jack Daniels, and other ones that I'm not going to mention here. But, like, I would get in huge trouble if, like, let's say I fell and I hit my knee and I said whiskey. I would get into huge trouble for that. Huge. And, like, for school pictures, my teachers would just say smile instead of saying, one of my favorite words. So all my school pictures were unsmiling. So finally, after I came back home, I was free to say whatever I wanted as long as I'm underneath, this roof. And, my mom, now, for pictures, she'll tell me to smile and say whiskey, or one of my other zillion and one favorite words, or something like that. Or like when I get lab drawn, she'll say one of my favorite words to help me to relax. So, that's pretty much a snippet of my autism journey. I mean, I could go on and on, but frankly, my iPad isn't going to let me publish for that long. But anyways, I hope that this video has blessed somebody with some knowledge. And I hope that you enjoyed it and got some laughs. Thank you.